Hey boys and girls, Miss Hobson. We are going to continue with our measurement unit, starting on lesson 17 today. Yesterday, Miss Horn and Miss Cerrone gave you two great lessons on measurement and on standard and non-standard measurement, using the ruler as standard measurement and also using tiles as non-standard measurement, as well as paper clips, and discussing some other things that you could use as non-standard measurements, such as your hand or even your foot, okay? Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about using the ruler and how to use a ruler. Vocabulary words that they started yesterday and discussed yesterday. You had foot, which is a unit of length in the United States. It is equal to 12 inches. And you may have to, because it's going to be a little bit blurry when I make it larger, so you may have to zoom in a little bit when you're watching the video to be able to see them very clearly, the definitions. Anyway, foot is equal to 12 inches, and it is used in the United States as the customary system of measurement. A yard is also used in the United States as a customary unit of measure, and it is equal to 3 feet or 36 inches. A meter is a unit of length in the metric system, and it is equal to 100 centimeters. And then you have the inch, which is the smallest unit of length in the U.S. system. And a quarter, they say a quarter is about an inch across from one side to the other. And then centimeter is a unit of length in the metric system, and your little finger's about as wide as a centimeter, okay? And here are just some examples of some units of measure. You have the ruler, the yardstick, the meter stick, and then you have a tape measure, okay? And a tape measure can be used especially when you're measuring things that are not necessarily concrete or straight, okay? All right, let's look here. Now, I want us to talk a little bit about things we already know about a ruler. So press pause, and after you press pause, I want you to write down just a few things, 2 or 3 things that you already know about a ruler. When you finish doing that, then come back and we will continue with our lesson. All right, so let's write down some things that we already know about a ruler. All right, one thing that we already know about a ruler is that it is it is 12 inches long, right? Yes, it is, okay? All right, so let's write that. So a ruler, what's something else? A ruler is 12 inches long, okay? What is something else? Okay, a ruler is used to measure inches and centimeters. So one side is the inch side, the other side is the centimeter side, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And the last thing that you could have put, now there's many other things that you could have put, but the last thing that I have here is that it is used to measure length. All right, so that's just 3 things, okay? And I'm sure there's many, many more things that you could have put as things that you already know about a ruler. All right, now, let's look at a ruler. Okay, there we go. Let's look at this ruler, okay? Now, if you notice on this ruler, there are 2 sides. And today we're going to do more talking about the centimeter side than the inch side. But I want us to talk about the difference between each one of these. If you look at, this is the inch side down on the bottom. Look at the space between each number. That means that the space, or an inch, is larger than a centimeter. The top part is a centimeter part, and these parts are smaller, okay? So with just looking at the ruler, you can tell that an inch is going to be larger than a centimeter, okay? Now let's look at this. All right, let's look at it, okay? You have a centimeter is about the width of your fingertip. So here they're showing you a finger. It's about the width of that fingertip, so that far around or that far wide. The size of a 1's cube, like this. And we all know what 1's cubes are because we use them a lot in here. or the size of the cap of an eraser, the tip or the eraser of a pencil, okay? That is all about the size of a centimeter. The inch is the smallest unit of measure in the customary system. So where this is the smallest, or this is used in the metric system, this is the customary system. And in the United States, this is what we use. And it's about a size of a quarter, a snap cube like this one, or a paper clip, okay? And then you have the yard, which would be 36 inches, about the height of a chair, or the distance from your fingertip to your chin. So if you held your hand out, from your finger to your chin would be about a yard, all right? Moving on. What I want us to do now is I want us to compare. I want us to look at and compare the differences between a centimeter and an inch. Now, in the packets that you have that we sent home, you have this Venn diagram, okay? I want you to press pause and complete this Venn diagram. But before you do that, let's talk about it just a little bit, okay? So remember, with a Venn diagram is when you are comparing two things. We're comparing centimeters and inches. So, in that case, let's do some different colors here, okay? All right, let's see. All right, good. All right, so right here we're gonna put, make sure it's small, one small. All right, so here we're gonna put centimeters. It's not red. I don't know why I won't go small. Okay. All right, so on this side, we're gonna do centimeters, and it's gonna be thick, but I'm sorry about that. Centimeters. So that will be this side of the Venn diagram. And then on the other side, let's do green. See if I'm doing it here. So this will be the inch side. Still not the right color. Still not the right color. Okay, and that's gonna be this side. All right, now, in the middle, you're going to have both. So what I wanna do with that is I want to highlight it, just so that you can see the highlight. Okay, that is gonna be both sides, or that are equal, the centimeter side and the inch side. So everything here in the middle will be the same, okay? All right, so press pause, take just a few minutes, and work through this, and then we'll come back and answer it in just 1 second. All right, boys and girls, let's take a look at this very quickly, okay? I finally figured that out, and we'll see what happens, okay? All right, so we're gonna compare the two. We are gonna compare the centimeter and the inch. Give me a few things that are the same about a centimeter and an inch, okay? So the centimeter and the inch are both on a ruler, correct? Let's use black on this one. Okay, they are both on the ruler, okay? They both have, are units of measure. Okay? The centimeter is in the metric system. That's something different. And the inch is standard in the standard system, or customary. Let's put customary down here. Okay? And this is what we use in the US, okay? The centimeter is small, or smaller, than the inch. The inch is larger. Okay? And there's lots of other things we could put, but let's stop right there for now, okay? With just some different things that are different and the same about the centimeter and the inch and how you would describe it, okay? All right, let's look at the next part. All right, now, I want you to go to your book on page, oops, sorry. Page 160, okay? Everybody look on page 160. Now, we said that we were talking about the ruler and the centimeter side of that ruler, and we've discussed how each side is different and how the centimeter is a little smaller than the ruler, okay? Now what I want us to do is, let's read this question right here. It says, Alex uses scissors to cut out some shapes. What is the length of the scissors in the centimeters? Now remember, this is important. This is part of your question, things that we've talked about before, okay? They want to know, what is the length, this is your question, what is the length of the scissors in centimeters, okay? What is the length of the scissors in centimeters? That is your question. Now, something that is very important about that would be centimeters, okay? You have to make sure that you're looking on the right side of the ruler and that you're using the right side of the ruler. If you don't, you can't. You'll be wrong with what your measurement is, okay? So what I want you to do, let's look at these scissors, okay? Remember Miss Roney and Miss Horn already talked to you about how to measure something, and that when you get ready to measure, you always have to line up the edge or the end on the zero, and then you look where it stops and you measure the end on the other end, okay? So it'll be the straight line down. So what I want you to do is take just a few minutes, and I want you to answer A, B, C, and D on this page, on page 160. And when you finish on page 160, we'll come back together and we'll look at it, okay? All right, now, let's look at this, okay? It says, what units are shown on the ruler? What units are shown on this ruler, okay? So by looking at the picture, we know that the units that's shown on this ruler are centimeters, okay? So we're gonna write that here. Let's make this a little smaller so it won't, well, it may not. Centimeters, okay? All right, now, it says what number is lined up with the handle? If you look in your book, and remember it's in your white ready book, okay? On that page, 160, what number is lined up with the scissors? Right, that would be 0, okay? So it is lined up with the 0 on the scissors. So if you look in your book, right here on the 0, that's where you would start. Then it says, how do you use a ruler to measure the scissors? Well, just like we said, you lie it down, you look at it, you start on the 0, and you look down the ruler, and wherever it stops, that's your last number, that's where you would line it up. And then the last question The last question you had was, what is the length of the scissors? What is the length of the scissors? So if you look at it, you've got, it starts on the 0 and it goes all the way down to the 9. So your length would be 9 centimeters, and you have to make sure that you write your unit of measure on the end or after the number, because if you don't, it will, no one will know if you're talking about inches or if you're talking about centimeters. So you have to make sure that you're putting that in your writing as well, okay? All right, good. Now, all right, now, last thing I want us to do is I want us to look in your school packet, okay, the packet that your parents picked up. And in that package, you are going to have, well, a paper that looks like this. So this again is the cube for the 1 inch and the ones cube for the centimeter. So you can see the difference between the two. This is the centimeter and this would be the inch, okay? But the paper in your packet looks like this, okay? And what I want you to do, I want you to take just a few minutes and I want you to use the ruler that was also in your packet that we sent home, and I want you to measure each line with the centimeter side, not with the inch side, but with the centimeter side. Make sure that's what you got. And tell me how many centimeters each line is. Okay? Press pause, come back in just a minute, and we will do this. All right, good. Let's look at this. Okay? If we were going to measure these lines with our centimeter side, and remember, you have to be on centimeter side. So if I did it here, that's wrong. That's your inch side. See, that's the big ends. So you have to flip it over and make sure that you're on the inch side. And then you're going to line it up right here on the edge. That would be the 0 right there. And then you're going to come all the way to the end of that line. You have to move it down a little bit. To the end of that line, and it stops on 10. So this would be 10 centimeters long. So you would write that over on the side. Let's look at number 2. And also the CM here, that means centimeter, 10 centimeters. Let's look here. If you start on the 0, go to the end of your line. That's on the 5. So that line will be 5 centimeters. Oh, here's a long line. Let's see. This would be 14 centimeters because you start here on the 0 right here, and you go all the way down to the 14. That's 14 centimeters. And then the last line would be 8 centimeters right here. 8 centimeters. You would write 8 right there. Okay. So here are, you can see all better. Okay, so there are, you have 10 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 14 centimeters, and 8 centimeters using your ruler to measure each line. All right, now, turn to page 161 in your math book. Page 161 looks like this. All right, now we are going to talk a little bit more about, or finding out more about our rulers, okay? And the inches and centimeters. Again, here's an example. You have the top is inches and the bottom is centimeters. It says many rulers show 12 inches and this is equal to 1 foot. But a lot of them show both inches and centimeters, okay? So question 1, it says, how many inches are on the ruler? Okay, so that would be, let's see if it's going to let me. 12 inches, okay? Because it starts with a 0 and goes all the way down to 12, and the inches are larger, so you know that's the one on top. How many centimeters are on the ruler? So if you start here and look all the way down to the bottom, you have 30 centimeters. Okay, remember that's an abbreviation for centimeters. It says some measuring tools are longer than a ruler. A yardstick shows 36 inches. Okay, there are 36 inches in a yard. So this is a yardstick. Okay, and on the yardstick it starts down here at 1, just like the ruler does, and goes all the way down to 36. So this would be a yardstick. This is 1 yard, and it has 3 rulers in it. So it has 1 that goes to 12, and then it goes to 24, which is another 12, and then 36, which is another 12. So there are 3 of these in a yardstick, okay? A meter stick, however, is a little bit different, it's a little bit larger, and I don't have a meter stick to show you. However, I do have and can use our tape measure to show you a meter, because it says that a meter is 100 centimeters. Well, a tape measure is used to measure things that are not necessarily straight, okay? Like if I wanted to measure around this, okay? See how this will bend over like that so that you can measure around corners? You cannot do that with a regular ruler. All right, but the same as a ruler though, this has inches on the front, it has centimeters on the back. Well, this yard tape measure is long enough that it has 100, it's got over 100 centimeters on it. So from one end of this tape measure, let's put it here so you can see it. From one end of the tape measure to right here, bottom, okay, this is equal to 100 centimeters, okay? Now let's look at the difference here. Let's see if I can get it. Get it equaled up. You can see the difference here between the yardstick, which is 3 feet, and the meter, which is 100 centimeters, okay? All right, the last thing that we are going to do today is we are going to look at we're going to think for just a minute. It says work with a partner. I know you don't really have a partner right now, but we can still do this. It says, how is a yardstick like an inch ruler? How is it different, okay? How is a yardstick like an inch ruler, and how is it different? So again, one side is going to be a yardstick. This is a Venn diagram, just like the other one. And this side is going to be a ruler. I could do that in a different color. Woo. Let's do that in a different color. Ruler. Okay, so this is the ruler. This is going to be the yardstick. And then, again, like we did the last time, in the middle is going to be both. So how are they the same, and how are they different? All right, take a few minutes, go ahead and finish that up, and we will continue tomorrow with the differences between a ruler, using a ruler, using measurement, using standard measurement, using non-standard measurement, and different ways that we can measure things that we have in the world. All right, thank you very much.